Scream for Me, Chapter 15. Jeff's point of view. I walked in through the back door, closing it quietly behind me. I took in a deep breath and smelled the dust that had settled over time in the old house. I reached into my pocket and felt the cold, sharp knife against my hand. It brought back memories of things that had happened at the house, both good and bad. I immediately walked into the kitchen, that being the only place I can go. Most of the furniture was covered in a see-through plastic, as to not disturb the good furniture. I walked past the dining room, not wanting to remember the haunting memories that lingered there, and I walked into the living room and looked around the dark room. I felt like if I turned on the lights, I would feel less foreign here, but I knew they wouldn't turn on. I shook my head and walked towards the stairs. They creaked oddly under my feet, and I remembered moments from my childhood. The memory of Mom yelling at us not to run down the stairs as we went to our rooms to play. The memory brought a painful sting to my heart. I clenched my hands together and quickened my pace. For some reason I found my way into Lou's room, and I paused. The room had been covered with the same plastic as everything else, but it felt so oddly chilling, even though I know I was the cause of this. I clenched my fists closer together, and I walked towards the window that reminded me of the haunting memories. I closed my eyes and sat down on the floor next to the window. I looked up at the ceiling, trying to push away the memories of their screams away. Of course, I didn't get anywhere with that. Certain voices ran through my head and they're familiar, but I can't put a physical form to them. Running away, aren't we, Jeff? What happened to trying to kill that girl? Shut up. I muttered as a laugh resonated through my mind. What? Do you think she can help you? No one can help you, Jeff. You're a monster. Shut up! I yelled and the voice went quiet. The only sound in the room was the sound of my raged breathing. It's alright, honey. Just ignore them. They can't hurt you if you don't let them. My mom's comforting voice said to me as I looked absently at the ceiling. She used to be able to comfort me, but it would never help. It would just get worse. And she never understood what it was like having a voice talking to you, making you more confused than you already are. They took me to the doctors for medicine, but none of that crap worked. But when I hurt someone, they shut up for a while. My mom didn't know anything. She thought she did, but she had no idea what I was going through. She didn't know what my safe haven was, and she didn't know shit. Just like Lou and Father. They didn't know anything either. No one understands shit about me. My breathing picked up a pace as I tried to calm myself, keep myself from bringing the knife to my hand for that comforting sting. I stood up, eager to kill something, hear the wonderful screams of another. As I stood, I looked over to the house just across the small gap between my house and theirs. I looked at the back that faced me through the window, making my anger boil up. I watched this terror slowly turn around, and a scared look quickly took her features. I immediately started to pry open the window as she tried to back away, and I quickly got across the small strip of land to her window. I watched as she fell to the floor as I opened the window. I quickly got inside and pressed my foot down onto her back. Oh, hello, Tara. You have no idea how mad I am. I said through gritted teeth. I grinded my teeth together as I watched her wiggle helplessly underneath me. She turned her head to the side to see me, which just made my anger just get greater. She took your kill, didn't she? Kill her, Jeff. Kill her. I've had my last straw with you. Taking my fucking kill? That was it for you and your pathetic life. I yelled at her as I sat down on her back. I drew my knife from my pocket and felt satisfaction as I held it in my hand. I'm sick of watching you struggle like a pathetic animal. After some point, it does get annoying, I said, leaning forward. I'm done with wasting my precious life on watching you squirm like a worm. So I think it's time for you to go to sleep, Tara. I watched amused as her eyes widened in horror. As she screamed loudly, I chuckled as I grabbed her head and pulled her off the floor with me. I felt my anger slip as my insanity took over, and it felt wonderful to hear her screams echo in the room. "That's right, scream all you want. No one's going to hear you," I whispered in her ear as I tightened my grip on her hair. I growled as I tried to fight back the urge to rip her open right this second. I brought my knife up to her stomach, and she let out another lovely scream. She tried to wiggle away from me, but that made my anger boil up again. I pulled her backwards harshly as I pulled her towards the window. I lifted her off the ground and situated her neck right in the middle of the window. I chuckled loudly as I pushed her head against the window. "I wonder what your blood will look like against the window," I said as I let out a laugh that I had been previously holding back. I brought my knife towards her neck, eager to slice it open and see her blood splatter. I heard the door burst open, and I whipped around, dropping my knife from her neck. My anger began to boil as about to rush towards him. I acknowledged the gun in his hand just before the sound of the gun going off met my ears, along with a loud sobbing. I dropped to my knees as a sharp pain met my arm. I looked down and covered the spot that was dripping in crimson red. As I looked up, it hit me. I had been shot. My breast became ragged as I looked towards Tara, feeling an unnatural need for something. As the pain began to overtake my senses, I gritted in the unbearable pain and fell to the ground, and for the first time in years, I screamed. I heard the man that had once been standing in the doorway run off, probably to call to police, as I screamed in unbearable agony. I breathed heavily as I tried to force myself to my feet and get out of this house. The second I tried to put weight on my arm, I screamed loudly in pain. I fell back onto the floor and put my good arm over my eyes as I bled onto the soft carpet. I heard a shifting next to me, and I moved my arm to see Tara looking over me. I went to grab her by the neck and strangle her, but I held myself back. She looked down at my arm and then ran off. I groaned loudly, accepting the pain that wouldn't stop surging through my body. That bitch left me here to die. Did you expect her to stay? You've tried to kill her how many times? I ignored the voice lecturing me, and I looked up at the ceiling as the road slowly got blurry. That fucking bitch.